What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Supergirl Season 3, Episode 9, Rain. So this is the first of the CW/DC shows that, mid-season finales. And, yeah, eh. It had some interesting things, it had some really bad things, and it ended with a fight, finally, between Supergirl and Rain, which, of course, isn't going to end with Supergirl beating her, because then the show would be over. The season would be over. So, of course, Supergirl has to get beaten in this fight, but, it was it's not really, I don't even know where to start, really. It just felt like things were all over the place. There's some really frustrating things, and there are some things that I'm just like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But overall, it's just kind of, if I had to balance it out. So I guess first let's start off with one of the most frustrating things about this episode. So Jimmy and Lena are a thing now. Why? Oh, because, last season, remember I was saying how, Kara had Mon-El, Alex had Maggie, Wynn had his girl, John Jones had Megan. Well, obviously Jimmy needs somebody too, so let's see, we've used up most of the women characters. I know, let's put him and Lena together. Because, earlier in the season they were arguing with each other because they didn't really like each other, because, they disagreed on so many things. That is the perfect foundation for any relationship. Last season, Carl and Mon-El, they disagreed on things. They hated each other. That was the perfect relation for their foundation for their relationship. Because let me tell you, people, if you meet a person of the opposite sex or the same sex, because this show is all about promoting that, if you meet somebody and you two argue a lot and you just keep arguing, but you're both good-looking people, perfect foundation for a relationship right there. Let me tell you, that's all you need. You need two good-looking people, and you need them to argue a lot. Boom! Perfect relationship right there. This show loves relationships like that. Let me tell you, Barry and Iris, get along with each other your entire life, know each other for years, get to know each other's deepest, darkest secrets, and, still love each other despite... Screw all of that. You just need to meet somebody that you can argue with, and then you got a relationship right there. Supergirl has cracked the code. It's brilliant. It's just genius. So we're moving on from that. Next up, talk about the other most frustrating thing about this episode. We're dealing with, once again, like I talked about 2 episodes ago, Kara Mon-El and his new wife, Imra, I think is her name. Yeah, I knew this was going to set up, not really a love triangle, because Mon-El, we can clearly see, has moved on, which he's had plenty of time to, so it makes sense. But my frustration here is not with the fact that it's getting focused. Because I understand why it's getting focused. Your main character is Supergirl. Yes, the love of her life disappeared. Now he's come back with another woman. That is something to talk about. And to be fair, Mon-El and Imra are both treating it with a lot of respect. They both understand that it's hard for her. They both try to talk to her about this and try to reason with her. And the frustrating thing about it is Kara, the main character, the protagonist, is being a complete douchebag about it. She even understands. She tells Mon-El, I understand all of this, but I just can't right now. I just can't do this. I can't, you look at me without love in your eyes. I gotta go. If you understand, then why are you still treating them both like shit? If I was hurt by somebody, and they didn't mean to do it, it was an accident, but they hurt me deeply, I would understand. I would forgive them. And I would not treat them like shit. It doesn't mean that I would go and talk to them constantly. You don't have to go up to Mon-El and Imra and be like, hey guys, how you doing? And act like everything goes... You don't have to do that. But that doesn't mean that whenever they try to reason to you, you just go, yeah, thanks, and act all sarcastic to them, because that's just being a douchebag. And you're supposed to be the hero of this show, and you're acting like a jerk. And I'm supposed to be okay with that, and I am not okay with that. Yes, I stole that from CinemaSins, and I don't care. What on earth? It's supposed to be a show where you got this hero, and she's fighting bad guys to save the world. Does she deal with some personal drama? Yes. Does that mean she acts like a jerk in her personal drama? No, she's supposed to be the good guy. She's supposed to be the one that understands, that sees the good in people. All of that stuff. In this entire season, she's acted like a complete asshole. That's the Supergirl that I know. No, it's not. It's just for the season they just decided to write her that way because we need to take this into a darker place. I know. Let's just have Supergirl be a jerk. Hey, it's stupid. And then the final frustrating thing in all of this is just all the cutaways. Like all this stuff is going on. It feels like we got to cut away, cut away, cut away. There's never any like progression. It always feels like we need to talk about this story and then cut there. We need to talk about this story and then cut there. Just out of nowhere. Kara is dealing with the symbol. She has to go to prison to talk to this guy. Okay, now we need to talk about Jimmy and Lena, and they're looking into Morgan Edge, and all of a sudden they're attacked. Oh, cut there. Now we need to come back and talk about Ruby and her mom, and how is she doing? Honestly, I can't even remember her name now. Like I just know her as Rain. I'll remember her name eventually. But yeah, it just feels like we're focusing on one story and then we'll cut and then come back to another story and focus on that for a second. The biggest one for me was we see all of the symbols being burned around the city. Rain goes after Morgan Edge, which, in my opinion, they could have gone all the way through with, but no, they decide, we got to keep him alive for now because we need that one human douchebag that's going to be our our antagonist for the season. And it's even kind of weird because Rain flies into the office, she uses her x-ray vision and sees there's a lead wall right there. If I'm a Kryptonian, my first thought is, lead wall. I wonder what that's for. And then rip open the door and then just laser right into him. But no, she's just like, lead wall. That's not suspicious. And then flies away. I'm just like, what? But yeah, so she attacks there. Morgan Edge is, blaming Supergirl. Quote, quote, blaming, because he's saying, I can't say for certain it wasn't Supergirl. And I'm just like, right, because the people of the city actually believe Supergirl would do that. But anyway, but yeah, so he's doing all that, and Supergirl's just like, you know what, fine, I'm going to play her game. And then goes up on top of Catgo and burns into the helicopter pad, burns the Supergirl's, or the S, or Kal-El? No. I don't even remember what it's called now. It's the S, the symbol of their family. But anyway, so she burns that into the rooftop, and I'm thinking, all right, yeah, so now they're going to have a final showdown, right? Well, no, the next scene we see with them is Mon-El and Imra are training, and Supergirl's watching them, and then Winn comes in, he's like, hey, she answered. She's like, what did she do? Well, she's waiting for you on top of the roof. I'm like, exactly, isn't that why you burned the S, so she would meet you up there? And then you came back because we had to have this scene of you watching Mon-El and Imra train, and what is going on? But yeah, all these little cuts are just really, it's kind of distracting how jarring it can be at times. We're here, action, and then cut. And let's talk about Jimmy and Lena, and how are they getting along, and how are they doing? And then cut back, and then we're in the action again. It's like, what? So yeah, that's all of the really frustrating things about this episode. Talk about some of the things that I guess aren't as frustrating, but aren't really good either. One is obviously the lead wall thing that I already talked about. Just the fact that she would see the lead wall and then not do anything about it is kind of like, what? The scene where she takes on all of the guys at the pier, they're doing a little drug thing, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, which apparently she has the ability to like make electricity go and then turn off, I guess. I didn't even realize that was a thing, but yeah, anytime she's in the room, just lights go out and everything, electricity pops, so I don't know. I wonder if they're going to say that's her power, or if it's just going to happen because, she's dark and ominous. But yeah, so she's tearing through all of these guys. We don't even get to see it. Like, even I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to show it from her point of view. Even from that, though, I still have no idea what's going on. It's so, like, and it's dark as well. I'm like, if you had just made it dark, that would have been enough. But to do dark and do like super shaky cam, what is going on? I can't even see. So I don't know. The camera work in some of these scenes, and even when Supergirl and Rain were fighting in the office, even that camera work was kind of like not really seeing what's going on. They had a couple good moments, but then a lot of what is this? What is going on? I can't see anything. So yeah, camera work was hit and miss. And is that it? Oh, the final scene. I don't even know what they're going for with this. Ruby wakes up. It's Christmas morning. She wakes up. She runs down the stairs. It's Christmas, Mom! And there she is, and she's standing at the window. And she's standing like she's in a rain pose. And then she turns, and then it's Supergirl symbol, and that's it. And I'm just like, What? Was that supposed... What? Because we've seen clearly several times that when she wakes up in the morning, most of the time she doesn't remember being Rain. So, am I supposed to assume that she's still Rain now in the morning? Or... What are you trying to tell me with this? Is this supposed to be intimidating? Because it just comes off as confused. Like, oh, guys, what if she's Rain and she turns around and she... Okay, she's going to attack Ruby, her daughter? Why would she attack a random person? We've already seen clearly that Rain only attacks people that she feels deserves it. You know, she went after the drug people because they were killing people. She went after Morgan Edge because he tried to kill Lena. And then obviously went after Supergirl because Supergirl challenged her to a fight. But aside from that, we've never seen her attack anybody innocent. So I don't know if we're supposed to be scared for Ruby's life or what. It was kind of a confusing end to this episode, and a confusing cliffhanger to leave off on, especially if we come back and it was all just a cock tease. You know, like she turns around, "Merry Christmas, Ruby," and I'm just like, yeah, that was a great cliffhanger. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it for all of the stuff. Then we get to some of the good stuff, or a few good things here and there. One definitely has to be Win, because he's still been one of my favorite characters in this show overall. I thought last season though he got way too focused on that one girl, and it just felt kind of like, really, we're gonna do this with his character. But I mean, overall, he's still been the more enjoyable character because he just has some good, funny lines, and he has some really good character moments. I talked about him in the review of Crisis on Earth X. Seeing him as like a general in charge of all these people was a lot of fun. In this one, he has some more good moments. You know, talking to John Johns about the music and how he wants his dad to hear this one song because, oh, it's great Christmas music, which... Why is his dad still involved in all this? Like, I don't understand. We're not doing anything with him. He's just there. But yeah, so he starts talking about like Star Wars and stuff, and that was pretty funny. And then there's this one moment where, when they find out that Rain went after Morgan Edge, perfect reaction. He's just like, no. That is bad. That is objectively bad. I'm just like, that was a funny line. That was well delivered too. So yeah, Win is he's still a good character and still really funny overall. On top of that, the fight overall, it did carry some weight. I still feel like ultimately it's that battle that beats the hero down so she can rise up out of the ashes type of thing. You know, I'm sure most of the second half of the season will be her kind of recovering from it and recovering not just physically but emotionally as well because you got beat in front of all these people. And I'm sure the people too are going to be like losing their trust in her and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, it still was like seeing her get beaten down and seeing her fight with the last ounce of strength that she had. It was well done, in my opinion. You know, getting to see that. Melissa Benoist has always been a very good actress overall. And in these fighting scenes is where she really does a good job. You know, that's not generally one of her strengths. Most of the time, just her emotional side is where she really shines. But in this one, her fighting side definitely showed. You know, getting to see that as she's slowly beaten down, and just having to use every last bit of her strength to really take down Rain, and even then she can't do it. It really came through, and in my opinion, it was probably one of the best moments of the season so far. So yeah, that was really well done. I will say the whole car door thing was a little cheesy. Just that she has the flaming car door, which is an intimidating visual, but then she throws it and it goes slow motion, and like the super like obvious effects in place, because like the car door didn't even really hit her feet, and she started doing flips. I'm just like, that could have been handled better, because clearly they had her like on a wire most likely, and so she threw the car door, and that was probably a digital effect, and then they had her spin just a little too soon, and it just didn't work at all. But I mean, that was the only real part of that last battle that I thought didn't work. And on top of that, you know, I was almost kind of expecting some sort of Deus Ex Machina, you know, like Mon-El comes out of nowhere and catches her before she hits the ground. But no, they really did go all the way through and have her hit the ground and be, you know, knocked out. She's obviously going to live because you can't kill off your main character. They don't have the Lazarus pit in this show, so you can't do that. But yeah, I mean, she's obviously going to live, but to the people standing around, they just saw their hero get beaten to a pulp. to near death. I mean, that alone is more ballsy than I thought they were going to go. So, yeah, I do think they did a very good job with that final fight. I will say it's not without its problems. You know, the fight scene overall, like I said, the car door thing, when they were fighting in the office, I thought it would have been much more effective. You know, there's this Christmas party going on, so they got, I think it was Deck the Halls, maybe? Can't remember what Christmas song is playing, but they drag her, you know, Rain drags her through the office, and then they're fighting, fighting, fighting. They kept the song going. It didn't fit with the fight at all. You know, like, songs going, they crash in, song cuts off. But no, they're just like, hey, let's just play the song all the way through, and it didn't fit. But ultimately, you know, they're fighting, they go out to a freighter, then they come back to the city because Supergirl's like, hey, why don't we crash into some more buildings where there's people's lives in jeopardy? That makes more sense. You know, kind of like with Man of Steel, how Superman could have taken Zod away from the city, but he's like, nah, let's duke it out right here. But yeah, and then, you know, just a couple weird lines, like Rain takes her to the top of the rooftop after, like, zapping her with the laser vision. She's like, I'm going to kill you. Really? I couldn't tell by the way you were beating her down. I mean, that kind of a weird line. And then when she drops Supergirl, this one girl just randomly, is she dead? I'm just like, yes, one random girl, she definitely is. What was that? So yeah, you know, a couple problems, and then of course they focus on Mon-El and like his concern for Kara, and I'm sure they're gonna do this whole thing second half of the season where he's gonna talk about, when I saw you near death, I just realized that I couldn't live without you. But yeah, you know, it has its problems, it's very serious problems, but it did have some bright moments as well. And that's something I can't really say about most of the season so far. So, is it looking up? Teeny bit. You know, it's not like I'm super pumped about the second half of the season. I still think it's gonna be terrible. Still think we're gonna get a lot of, you know, Jimmy and Lena now. We're gonna get a lot of Mon-El, Kara, and Imra, and the little love triangle. Probably gonna have some more terrible lines, some more terrible effects. But there's no but. I enjoy getting to talk and vent about it because it allows me to release some aggression. And on top of that, who doesn't love a good rant and rave about a bad show? So, yeah, that's about it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Supergirl reviews. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.